Here's the thing. Last week I recorded a video about the 7 habits of a successful leader. I took a journey throughout my career and I remembered the great influences in my life. And I could remember what they taught me. I can remember the names, and for most of them I also remember where they are today. And now today I take another journey and I talk about the 7 bad habits that you need to quit if you want to be a great leader. And I asked myself the same question: who are those people who influenced me in this manner? And I can only remember 3 names. Interesting, isn't it?
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
The first person I do not have that fond memories of is somebody who always put her personal agenda above the interest of the company. And whatever you did, it was always something that contributed or subtracted from her personal agenda. And you had to navigate that as an employee. And it made it a very stressful experience. The next person I ran into was a boss of mine for a very short time period. And quite frankly, I didn't think that I was doing a very good job in the role. And I also didn't think that anybody else in the same team did a very good job. So I was sitting down with that manager one day and I asked straight out, how am I doing? And the response I got was, you are doing a great job. You are doing great work. You are really valued. And I asked myself, do I really want to work for a boss who accepts mediocrity? By the way, if this is the first time here on this channel, my name is Leifert. Here on Crosswinds Pilot, I talk about business advice and leadership skills and freedom every single week. Consider subscribing and we'll be on our way. So let's talk about the next person. And the next person was actually a great person. Very nice to hang out with, very nice to talk to, and also a great specialist in the field that I was working in. And yet what I lacked was a little bit of clarity. There was always a fuzziness around what I am supposed to achieve. And I was never very clear what type of job I was expected to do. And it taught me a lesson that if I was to act in the same way, the reaction of people around me would probably be the same. Last week, I spoke about the value of transparency. And so I also thought about another leader in an organization I've worked in that had the exact opposite, a lack of transparency. And yes, earlier on we talked about the personal agenda. Well, this person didn't have a personal agenda. This person had a hidden agenda. And once more, it is very difficult to relate to such a person because you're never quite sure where you stand. You're never quite sure what job you're supposed to do. And you may see now a common theme, a common thread for those kind of habits. And the next one I want to talk about is the guy who thinks you have to figure out everything by yourself. Who gives you zero support because now you are a senior guy, right? You have made it to the top, so you know what you're doing. And they just assume that you know everything, that you can navigate everything, and they do not provide you with any support whatsoever. Take that as a lesson for yourself. Are you acting in that way sometimes? Do you have a very senior manager? Because even though they may be senior, even though they have many years of experience, some of them have more experience than you have, they still want your help at certain stages. So reach out and ask. And if they don't need the help, that's great. Give them your trust, let them get onto your way. But don't be that person who thinks everybody has to figure it out for themselves. A little offshoot of that same personality type is a person who is just not interested. They hired you to do a job, but maybe they hired you to do a job to cover their backside. But other than that, in the topic, in the field that you work in, they have no interest whatsoever. Don't be that kind of boss. If you do have somebody who works for you, take an active interest. And then finally, there is the person who is the defensive kind of guy. They know it all, even if they are wrong. And you know what? As a leader, as a manager, you are wrong a lot, because you are surrounded by people who are bound, who are supposed to know more than you do. So don't be defensive. Don't be the guy who wants to be right. Don't be the guy who knows it all, because chances are that your employees know more. And if you accept that, and if you also can accept that sometimes you are wrong, they will appreciate you, they will trust you much more than otherwise. So what is the worst experience that you had in your life so far? Please let me know down in the comments. And if you want to learn a little bit more about leadership, consider the 2 resources that are on the screen right now. I will see you over there and in the next video.